Hi guys, welcome back to Odyssey with Davaco. Today we have something very special for freshers and even returning students. I have two amazing 400 level students with us. At my right,
Arolo Anolu Atushi, 400 level mechanical engineering student.
So what a 400 level computer science.
you're welcome, Tiwa and Kiisi. So, first question. Describe your very first day at school in one word and explain why. Let's start with this first.
Stressful.
Stressful. Tiwa, what about you?
Same, stressful.
Why was that?
That day we had to hustle for a room, and by close of day I was looking forward to eat. So
Was that same case?
Mine was a journey, I first came to school. They directed us to the hostel. Then they directed us back to the auditorium, right? And I was there for hours. I was not able to do anything that day. And then we got to the hostel and we had to fight for room. Like fight. Parents were fighting. I'm not even joking. My mom was there. And then we got to quarters. They took all my skirts and gave my mom. They said my skirt has slits. So I didn't have skirts for like a month. I was wearing only one skirt.
You didn't know about the
I didn't know. They didn't tell me anything. We were on a group chat, but they didn't tell us about the rules. They cut my hair that day too. I entered my room. Yeah, I cried. I cried that night. I cried myself to sleep. There was no water. There was no lights. So I had to take my bath with one bottle of water. Like I just poured it on myself like this. So it was a very frustrating experience sincerely, and I was not able to withdraw too because the ATM was not working. So I didn't eat that night. So I just cried myself. I ate my tears and I slept. I was new to the system. I didn't know what to do. Like there was no direction, and my mom just left me. Like after she found out I was in my room, she just drove off. So,
what was your biggest shock to the university system? Like when you got through, because I felt like when you become to university, you be like, okay, I feel like I have freedom, I have this. But then what was that biggest shock? That okay, wow, really? Yes.
I think the biggest shock for me was having a bank account and money in it. For me, that was like the first time that I had access to money. Like money without control. Someone just gives you money and says, okay, spend. Like just go and this is what I'm giving you and spend. So there was just that for me that, oh look, I actually have access to money and I can spend my money anyhow that I want. But then at the back of my mind, I had to remind myself that look, if I actually spend this money finish, there would be nothing. So I guess learning how to manage money, that was like the first shock for me. I wasn't used to it, yes.
What about it?
I'm trying to think because I don't know. I won't say I was shocked when I came to university. I'll just say I expected more freedom. I think that was the only shock. Like I thought.
Private university.
I don't know. Probably that was my expectation because I was to go to a federal university before. So coming here was like everything was so confined and the rules were just a lot. So that was just the shock. But I wasn't shocked as per money. I've been earning money. I spent like 2 years at home before I got admission to school. So I had seen a lot. Don't worry. So it was just the freedom that just shocked me. Like this place is like secondary school, if not worse. The rules were crazy, basically.
You could not handle it at that time.
I got used to it in like a week. Sincerely, I just had to adjust.
So, Kiisi, you started debates and other extracurricular activities very early. Was it something you determined to do before uni, or it was when you got in you decided so?
No, I didn't determine to do it before I got to school. Never. When I was coming to school, the only thing in my head was I want to graduate with a 5.0 CGPA as the best graduating student. I don't know if that dream is still possible though, but that's not my main goal. But I think what really spurred me was my HOD. Very funny. I did a video. I posted it on my status. I was just talking and I was like, oh, Kiisi, you talk really well. Would you be interested in hosting a radio show? And I'm like, yeah, I think I've done it once or twice with my mom. And he's like, okay, I'll hook you up. And then he drove me there, like did the whole connect. And then after that, I just found out, wow, I actually have this talent. And I just started doing a lot of things with my voice. That was just it.
Also, how did you balance the demanding schedule of mechanical engineering with
Balance, there's nothing like balance. It's just prioritization. You just choose the one that is of priority to you. majority of the time, my weekends were booked. So when I was in 100 level, I read a lot. I think that's how I met Tiwa. I met Tiwa in the library. He reads more than me. I'm not joking. Tiwa can be there from morning to
No,
8
that's an
p.m.
exaggeration. I believe.
Joking. That's how I met Tiwa. So so I would go there and I would read and I would be with someone like Tiwa. And, you want to leave, but you're seeing someone like Tiwa that came before you. You cannot leave before them, so you're just forcing yourself to read. And then weekends, I just do my other stuffs. I would say there's balance, but you just find a way to,
What was that
soft
time management secret you had that?
time management. I think I had it before I came to school. Like I said, I spent a few years before I came to school, so I was quite mature already in my thinking. I wasn't fresh out of secondary school. I learned hairdressing before I came here, so I'd experienced life. I wrote jam twice. They didn't give me admission. There was strike. I'd experienced life. So coming to school, I already knew certain things. I wasn't new into the system as per fresher mind. So I just knew that I wanted a good CGPA, but I'm finding other interests, so I'll find a way to balance it.
So Tiwa, you chose a part of academic focus from the one. Was that a deliberate logical choice or one from your parents?
Actually, that was my own choice.
And are you looking back on the decision you made?
Looking back.
Yeah. Like, I wish I went for this instead of this. What department? You said you had computer science. So you feel like you love your choice of study.
So from the beginning, when I resumed, my goal was the same as Kichi, 5.0 BGS. Along the line, 1 or 2 lecturers have shown me shaggy, so it's not possible again. But I'm still in a good place, nevertheless. And the reason I went academic first was because I just thought to myself that it would be nice now, like having a perfect CGPA and all that stuff. And before resuming, I just went on YouTube, scrolling through Redeemers University YouTube channel, and I was like watching the convocation ceremonies from like different years, different sets. So I thought to myself that I actually want to be like one of these guys. Yeah, no, not the rope, like be the person who finally like delivers that speech on behalf of everybody. So that's what I had at the back of my mind, and I just thought that okay, it's possible.
So throughout this journey now, what's one lesson you have gained, and what is one thing you think you have missed out of your plan?
Well, I missed out when I got a B.
A B?
Yes, in a course. So, and I've also gotten B's in other courses. But like I said, I'm still in a good place nonetheless. And that just taught me that I can explore other things, even outside of just.
That things have you explored in the journey of space of 4 years?
Well, in the space of 4 years, I have volunteered more. I volunteered with Frontex Space at some of their events. I've also volunteered for Ronsa, worked for Ronsa quite a bit. And I also like dabble in some other things like run a podcast. I write. Actually, I didn't know I could write until I got to school. I didn't know until I saw life in 1 or 2 ways. Exactly.
So you write from your experience?
Yeah, so I write from my experience. Yeah.
Okay. So now let's talk about relationships. Well, before we get to that space, let's even start with how important are connections with lecturers versus connections with classmates for academic and future success?
Everything joy.
Yeah.
You have to, I would say being a course rep actually, I learned that there is a balance between, I know some people avoid lecturers. Lecturer can be this, lecturer can be that, but I would say that that's one thing that actually gave me an edge in school, because I had to deal with a lot of lecturers. You take blame too, but it gives you this kind of edge and this kind of backing. I don't know how best to explain it. Even though at some point it's like they're monitoring your CGPA for you. Like if results should come out, your result is the first result they are checking. If you mistakenly get one funny score, they're calling you to the office to like tell you that what happened, this one, that. But at the same time, that relationship is very important, because there are certain things I've done where I actually had to use that access that I have. Oh, I need to do this. I'm hosting a program, but this is seeming difficult. So please, I need you to please help me speak to this person. And then you also need to connect with your classmates and your classmates. You don't have a choice. I don't know. I know some people are very introverted. but you just have to find a way to talk to them. I'm in a department of boys, so you can imagine being a coach rep to grown guys and fresh boys, and trying to make yourself heard. You cannot be authoritative. You have to be like their G guy. That's the thing. They're alpha, just with them, and also that's just basically how it was for me. And I'll just say that just balance it. There's no one that is more important.
Well, I'd say they are both equally important. Having relationship with your lecturers on one hand and your classmates. Like she said, having relationship with your lecturers actually gives you access to certain things that are not readily available. So you are actually maybe having a difficult time in the course, or you actually need to do some other things in the course of your stay while in school. Your lecturers can actually be of very, very huge help to you, and your classmates are equally important. The truth is, you can't do it on your own.
Actually, that's very true.
You can't do school on your own. So you will just come for 4 years, and all of a sudden, when everybody's convocating, they'll be like, who's that guy? Is he actually our classmate? So it's not possible. You have to interact with people. Even when you're doing projects, lecturer will group people together.
Yeah,
for some department, so you still have to interact with them, because you would also need their help, and they would also need your help along the way. And even beyond school, you get to eventually do things together. Some of these guys might have 1 or 2 opportunities in the future, and they're like, oh yeah, I try to remember that guy from my class. Yeah, this, and then they hit you up or something. So
that connection goes a long way. So, what was the single most valuable piece of advice you received as a fresher?
I'll say it was aim for 5.0. Then it felt like it was pressure. I won't lie. Then it felt so like, what's the big deal about this thing? Why is everybody? Well, now I'm actually, as time went on and I saw my CGPA reduce right before my eyes, I found out that actually trying to, even though I didn't get it in 100 level, but aiming for it was one thing that gave me like a good standing. So with all the falls, when you do an electrical course and you get C, and it's 3 units, so it just sucks your results. You are still able to stand on like a good CGPA, and you're able to make it back probably the next semester or the third semester. So that was like the most valuable advice I actually got coming to school.
Worst piece of advice you thankfully ignored?
Don't focus on your academics. You are doing too much. Just read your book every day. When you get to yourself, read your book. I'm happy I didn't adhere to that, and I branched out and I did so many other things.
Not too much that you're doing.
Yes, I did everything together, and I'm excelling in everything. It paid me baje, my dear.
What about you, Tiwa? What's one single most valuable piece of advice you got?
Actually, I did get a lot of advice from different people. Well, putting everything into perspective, on my own hand, I wasn't pressured actually. My mom and dad, shout out to them, very, very chill people. They don't put pressure on me, so that helped me a lot. But I think one of the most valuable advice I got was from a friend at the time. He was in 400 level CMP when I was in 100 level. He advised me that, hey, look, in as much as you are aiming for this thing and all, to be the best student and all that stuff, I don't want you to make the same mistake I made. And I was just heading into only your books. You have other things that you should definitely look out for outside of this. And I think most times though, I still tend to be book first, but then I remember that one. No, that one is actually a lie now. No, let's be honest. No, I know someone who.
I know your companion.
God bless.
God bless.
If he watches this, we should look after him. Shout out to him. So yeah.
So what was the worst piece of advice you thankfully ignored? Thank God.
Well, for me, I didn't actually get any bad advice from anybody.
Okay, if you're supposed to give a parting word to the freshers now that are resuming, what would you tell them?
Find clarity, honestly. I think that is the best thing that you can find, that you can search for while you are here. Just find where you are meant to be and what you are meant to do.
What about you? What are you going to tell them?
I think to be in that same light, but I'll just say don't just follow trends. Try to know what you need to do and what God would actually have you to do. So put God first and find out what God will have you to do. So you don't waste 4 or 5 years, chasing after what everybody else is doing. Find your niche and run with it. People will run with your vision too.
So in conclusion, you are saying they should find clarity, they should find God. So God plus clarity equals to success.
God gives clarity, and clarity gives success.